hamburgers and hot dogs. Let's talk about it. Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner is she's gonna do what, 9-10 years in a Russian jail? And people are like, free Brittney. And here's my thing about that, because everybody asked me. Nobody asked me. Here's my thing about Brittney. He went over there with what? Hash oil or whatever that is. Cartridges, whatever she got caught with. And she knew that, it was illegal. She knew that. She's been playing ball over there for a minute. But she knew it was illegal. But she did not know how severe her punishment would be. She could not have known this. She probably thought it was a slap on the wrist. And now some people are coming at her like, yeah, you were the one who knelt. You were anti-America because you knelt because of the national anthem. And I just want to say to those people, you're idiots. Because she knelt because there's a racial issue with the national anthem when they talked about how no slave would get away. So, you didn't hear that part of the national anthem because they don't play it. So she has a right to kneel, and she's in protest of police brutality, which is a thing in America. So just because you're in America, you are an American, doesn't mean you can't protest about what's wrong with America, okay? And this is why a lot of you women are lying in the streets because of the abortion, Roe v. Wade, and that's been turned over. You don't like it, you protest. That's what Brittney did. She did a peaceful, quiet protest. You don't like something, you protest. Nothing's wrong with what she did. She's not anti-America. She's anti-police brutality. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You people know how to just damage somebody's image. Anyway, so Brittney made a huge mistake by going over there. It was like, hey, going through an airport too. I think she got caught in an airport, wherever she got caught at. But if you know it's wrong, don't do it. Now, the thing about it is a lot of you people are like, free Brittney. And I'm like, not so much. Maybe not so much harsh of a sentence, but listen, if it's illegal in a country and you're aware of it, I'm not so quick to let you go on that. There should be some penance for that. Because I don't know what you're thinking of. You can just do what you want, and these people are going to care who you are because you can play ball. No, nobody gives a damn over there. They don't care who you are. Okay, it doesn't go that way. Nonetheless, people don't mention the fact, Joe Rogan, I just watched the Joe Rogan short, and he was talking about how many people are in jail over here over weed. There are thousands and thousands of people in jail for the longest of time for weed, and some people they didn't even do the drug. They just knew where it was. I told a story about how a woman was set up by the police, and they tapped her phone, and someone called her and asked if she knew where someone can buy weed. She's like, yeah, I know somebody who sells weed. They came and got that woman. They put her in jail for like 27 years or whatever. So there's a man in jail right now. They gave him 50 years because he stole a sandwich. So let's not act like people aren't in jail over weed, because you can go to jail over weed, even though, white America can sell weed out of a dispensary and nothing happens to them. This is ridiculous. A black person has listen, the police stop us and say, it smells like weed in the car, get out. And then they find absolutely no weed, and then they charge us with something else. So let's stop acting like, weed is not a thing still here in America, because it is. And black people get blamed for it even though they don't smoke. I saw a video where a cop stopped a guy said he smelled like weed and said he was nervous and all this other stuff, and asked him 10 times, when's the last time he smoked weed? And he kept telling him, I don't smoke. I don't smoke. And then he asked him again. He's like, I told you that I don't smoke. He was trying to trip him up, with the whole weed thing. And recently there was a young man who was actually shot and killed by the police, the guy who was in the mall, where the police said it was creepy that he was talking to teenage girls. It was like, wait a minute, what this guy did, what this young man did, who was, I believe it was a teenager too, he's like 18 and 19. What he did was he went into the mall like teenagers do. And he walked up to some girls he thought was his age, but he wasn't sure. What he did was the smartest thing. He said, how old are you? And when he found out that the girls were underage, he rolled up out of there. And what he was doing, he was hunting for girls that are in his age group, because that's what we do. Okay, when you're a teen, you hunt for females that are your age, and it's so easy to mistake a 16-year-old girl for an 18-year-old girl. So he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask how old they are. This is like on a Saturday at a very popular mall. And what do girls do? What do teenagers do on Saturdays or whatever? They go to the mall. That's what you do. He went to the mall looking for women. Nothing wrong with that. He asked, they were like, we're too young for you. He said, okay, cool. They go and report him to the police. Why? Why? The police catch up to the guy, escort him out the door, and told him that he's free to go. Then the cops start asking him questions about what? Weed. Do you have any weed? He said, I smoked some before I came here. Do you still have some on you? No. Do you still have the bag on you? I mean, yes, I have the bag, but there's nothing in it. Then he said, stop right there. And the guy was like, wait, what? He's like, please, sir. And he was like, stop right there. You're under arrest. He trapped him. So the kid ran, and while he was running, he pulled out a gun, and he shouldn't have done that. I'm not for that at all, but the cop trapped him, and he got scared. He ran, and they ended up killing this man. So what I'm saying is weed is still a thing here. And I don't see you people lying in the street protesting for the thousands of people who are in jail for long sentences over weed. You don't do it. But now you want to go and protest for Brittney Griner, who I'm not even going to say she made a mistake. What she did was on purpose. She just didn't know the severity of punishment that she was going to get for what she did. So I'm like this. I don't think she should have got 8, 9 years or whatever, 10 years. To me, it's just excessive over something that doesn't kill you. It doesn't stunt your growth. It doesn't slow you down. It makes you hungry. I just don't believe Brittney should get that much punishment. But do I believe she should be punished? Absolutely, 100%. I think that she should at least get a year in jail. That's what I'm saying. A year, let her out, bang, boom. Putting her in for 10 years, it's not going to do nothing. She wasn't a drug dealer. She's somebody who had it on her and whatever, and it was just cartridges. I mean, for a vape pen or something. Like, come on, give her a year, 6, I don't even say that long. Give her 6 months, let her out. She learned her lesson. Boom, bam, there it is. But you people are really funny because you're not lying in the street to help out your own American people over here who have the same problem Brittney does. You don't do that. You want to go over there and, hey, we'll trade you. Listen, you people want to trade Brittney Griner for a guy who's committed murder. That's your solution. There's a man here who's Russian, who's committed murder, and you're trying to get the president to trade a murderer for it. You people don't know how it works when it comes to international. Let me tell you a story. when I was in the military, I was in Darmstadt, Germany, 32nd ADCOM, which is an air defense unit that I was attached to. So what happened was we had a brilliant young lady there. She was also black. Her name was Pam. Pam was brilliant. Very smart person who worked. She had a secretarial position. She worked for the AG. Now, she was a soldier. Long story short, Pam loses her mind one day and goes and unalives somebody. And the person she unalived, I knew him. This guy was, he was actually French. And what he did is he worked at the pub right outside of the base. So you leave the base, there's a pub right there that you go to. And this little, small little joint, you can go and get yourself some beer and, a hot dog. The food wasn't that great. But this guy was like 20 years old. He was just a great kid. And he was always happy to see you. Hey, he was that type of guy. He had like an old soul, but he was real young. Well, little did we know that guy and Pam had, a whole drug thing that they were doing. We didn't know anything about it. We just thought he was a happy guy and she was a little crazy. Well, she ends up, cutting him from here to here and then climbing out his window. And then she came onto the base, into the barracks where I was, and went to the third floor, into her room, and she looked at her roommate, who was a really ditzy blonde, like a really ditzy person, and she told her roommate, I just unalived someone. Now, this ditzy blonde got unditzied real quick, because when she said it, she looked at Pam. She took Pam very serious. She walked out the room, walked down 3 flights of stairs to the CQ and said, my roommate just said that she unalived someone. The CQ doesn't take light to that at all. We're in the military in a foreign land. So he doesn't know who's gone. He probably thinks it's a soldier that's gone. And that is all kind of hell shapeka. Okay? So he knew who her roommate was. Everybody knows Pam because she's very loud. Plus she works for the AG, the adjutant general, a 2-star general. Pam was the only person who walked around with her hands in her pocket, which you're not supposed to do. She did it because nobody would say anything to her because of who the boss was. This 2-star general ran the whole base. So nobody said anything out of line to Pam because she would go to her boss and say, boom, this is what happened. And her boss would go right down the food chain and come see about you. So you did not want any smoke with Pam. Well, that power went to Pam's head. She got into the mix with, this guy. She unalived him. That was that. I'm saying all that to say, once they found out who the person that passed away was, it was done on German soil. And it was a German citizen. He was from France, but he was a citizen here in Germany. So the German said, once the German police found out about it, they said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and try her and put her in jail, for life. Well, the military said, she is a soldier. Let us handle it. It was like some real Game of Thrones type of stuff. So they really were, it was a fight over jurisdiction on who was going to punish her and what the punishment is going to be. See, this is why you don't go to a foreign land and commit a crime, because when you're over there, even though you're like, I'm an American, they don't care. You committed a crime on our soil. You have to deal with our laws. This is what the Germans were saying. She committed a crime on our soil, and off a German citizen, we want that ass. So they had to go through hell and high water just so Pam could be in the military and stay on military grounds. They stripped her of her rank. When I saw her, I said, did you do it? She didn't say anything to me. But when I saw the look on her face, I was like, you did it. Plus, we'd never seen her so quiet in her life. Now, I don't think that Germany was able to keep her because she was in the military. But if she was a civilian, she would be in a German jail right now, rotting in jail. Trust and believe. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. I'm just trying to tell you guys. So quit screaming this, bring Brittney home, nonsense. Fight for your own people. Brittney's going to have to do her time now. Do I think she's going to do 9-10 years? I don't know. But listen, just because she's some type of celebrity doesn't mean she's going to get away with anything. If you think that, then you've never been outside of the country and you don't know anybody who's ever been out in trouble outside of the country, because it is a whole different ball of wax. And in some of these countries, when you make these types of mistakes, you go to a jail and everybody is in one room. And there is a hole in the ground. And if somebody doesn't come and feed you, you don't get fed. You go to some of these third world countries, you're finished. You're going to be there. And that's just going to be that. There is no extradition back to the United States. If you didn't commit a crime in the United States. That's the only time they do that. If you're caught in another country, but you committed a crime in the United States and it's, a big enough crime, then they catch you and they send you back. And that depends on the country. I mean, if Brittney Griner was a criminal here and went over there and she got caught, it's a good chance they wouldn't even send her back here. How do I know this? Snowden. Remember Snowden? He committed a crime over here. He went to Russia. And then he was begging to try to get back here. He was asking Donald Trump to pardon him because Donald Trump was pardoning everybody. So Snowden was trying to get back into the country without doing Fed time. So this is how I know Russia's one of those places that doesn't extradite you, and it all depends on what you do. But if you didn't offend the Russians, then they're just like, hey, that's your problem. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to say about that. I just don't agree with everybody trying to get her back. I agree with people trying to lessen her sentence. If you're going to ask the president to do anything, make a trade, okay, if it happens, fine. But if anything, lessen the sentence. But I don't think that's going to happen because Putin, okay? Not to mention, we're over there in minding their business and we're killing their soldiers. And that's just it's the audacity for me. You guys don't even, we're in the Ukraine right now sending howitzers to people. There's Americans over there too, but we sent like $3 billion worth of firepower over there to take out the Ruskies. We're killing their people, and you're worried about Brittney Griner. Putin doesn't give a damn about Brittney Griner. Listen, Brittney Griner might end up being there for 20 to 25 years. Do you understand that? Because right now we're at war with them. Even though our soldiers, we didn't send soldiers, we sent equipment. Their soldiers are dying from stuff that we made. We made that equipment. Okay? Our government has contractors that make money simply off of war. They're war profiteers. This is why our government didn't say, hey, everybody get out of there. Listen, if our government really cared about what's going on, they would have said, everyone in the Ukraine, get up out of there, we'll help you leave. They would have told every Ukrainian, every single one of them, leave. And they would have set up a UN, would have set up and would have bust every single soul out of the Ukraine. There wouldn't have been none of this garbage about the Donbass area. You wouldn't see all of these people dying, all these grandmothers and mothers, their sons strewn all over the place, old people being shot. You wouldn't have seen none of that. But America loves it because they're war profiteers. And that's it, and that's all. They could have ended this a long time ago. So that's what I'm saying. Watch what you're saying, because Brittney Griner, Look, if she comes home because of a trade, that's good. That's fine. I'm not against it. But you just got to understand the position that we put ourselves in when it comes to we can't really help anybody while we're killing their soldiers. We really just can't. Anyway, Chiboy Tone 202. I don't think anybody has any questions. I'm going to go ahead and end the live, but I'm going to come back and make some music. Not too many people show up for that either, but I just like doing it for, like meditation reasons. All right, peace.